Hello, welcome back. This is Miniature Mike. Today I'm going to do my second to last Sculpt tier list video for sets. In this one I'm going to be doing it on Dark Times, which is to go Dark Times and then Masters of the Force. There you go. So I'll be doing these next two here. And it's crazy that we're almost already done with this. When I'm done with these tier list videos for Sculpts, I'll probably go back and do some videos. I want to redo my tier list videos for each set in terms of like how good the characters were in each set. I think looking back, I definitely make a lot of changes after spending a lot more time in the game, analyzing characters and stuff and combinations. And that's what I'll get to after this. I originally intended to do that earlier, but these are still going, and so I'll get to them after. But until then, let's jump right into this video. So first things first, we have one of the Emperor's Hand characters. I think looks pretty interesting. Let me see here. I had to use a different image because Rebel Scum didn't have one. I think it's all right. I think it's a B tier. I think it's a really cool looking ominous presence, really interesting looking character. Definitely solid, so I'll put it in there. So next we have some Mandalorians. I'm going to do this Mandalorian, and then there's a couple more. Actually, no, this might be the only one in this set. It's the kind of Crusader look Mandalorian. I think this one is the Jedi Hunter, if I get it correctly. I think this one's still B tier. I think it looks really. I really like the way that the armor looks, the way it's designed. I think it's done well in terms of detail, but it's not my favorite looking pose, so I won't put it any higher. But definitely solid. Next we have I think it's the Togorian Soldier, I believe. This thing's pretty sweet. I'm gonna put an A tier. It's just this really giant. I don't really know much about this species or kind of what the reference is in this case, but I think they do a pretty good job on this. Usually when you can do a large character base or a huge, very easy to get a lot of good detail. So I'll definitely stick it in A tier. I think it looks pretty great. Pretty good looking mini. Next we have Forlom Droid Mercenary. I don't like this one as much as the other one, although this one is it's a more interesting pose. The other ones are much more static. But the pose I really like is from Bounty Hunters, is because it's the same pose from Empire Strikes Back. So I really like that. This one's very solid though. I'll put it on B tier. I think definitely it looks good, captures them pretty nicely. I do like the way it looks, so they do a good job with it overall. Next one is this ARF Trooper. I think I like this one just a hair more than the one on the last one. Although from this angle I actually don't know anymore. It looks good. I do like the gun kind of pointed out and aiming more rather than close to the chest in this case, so it's definitely solid looking. I'm a bigger fan of the Dark Times one. Next we have Chewbacca with the breath mask. This might be one of my, I don't know, I'll put it in B tier because it's okay. I still think they get the kind of the Wookiee hair texture done pretty well, but it's not the best. There's some better looking Wookiees. And it's interesting. This was a really weird character in general because it's a very niche and specific point in time in Star Wars, very specific scene. But it's an okay. It's not my favorite sculpt either. I might just do bottom of B tier. Maybe C tier, but we'll see. Next we have the Rodian. What is this? The Rodian Raider, I think. It's not the Brute, that's for sure. The Brute's later on. This one looks fine. I do actually. There's something about this guy that I really like. That it has this enormous gun and he's just walking around with it. For some reason, I kind of love it. And the character resembles it because he has triple attack, so kind of fun. Next we have the let's see here. This is the Princess Leia version of Bausch, basically. At least I believe. Yes, I think it should be. What do I think about this particular character? I think it looks pretty cool. I do like it's a really dynamic pose, kind of like running forward, kind of dashing forward. Good detail. I'll put it in A tier. Next one is, oh gosh, it's so funny with these later squads, these later sets. I'm just less familiar off the top of my head with the characters, just because when I did minis when I was younger, I knew all the characters from all the sets, kind of up until the last 2 or 3 sets. And then I didn't collect as many of them. So recently I've collected those characters more, but I don't know them quite as well. So I think this is Jax Pavin. I'm not 100% sure. I should probably just have an aide with me to help me out since I'm doing an oopsie right now. I'll put it in B tier, maybe A tier. I do really like the pose. It's cool that it has a lightsaber and the gun. You don't get that very often in the game. I'm not a huge fan of the head, how they did it, but it looks fine. So I'll definitely do A tier. Pretty cool looking. Tal's Chieftain. This thing's pretty sweet. I might put this in S tier. I'm going to put both of the Tals. No, I'll just put the Chieftain in S tier. I think it looks awesome. Like, Really cool weapon, really sweet detail on all like the fur. It's a pretty sweet looking mini. I'll put the other towels. I don't like it quite as much, but I'll put it down in A tier. I think these aliens look awesome with how they're able to capture it. So next we have Bomo Green Bark. Looks okay. I'll just throw it in B tier. Definitely a decent job done with like I think the detail on the body is actually pretty solid, but not my favorite pose. It's fine. Next we have Dengar. This one's just going to go into C tier. I'm not really a big fan of this one. I like the other Dengars a little bit more. Dengar hired killers. It's fine. C's not bad. It's just it's okay. Miru, I actually really like this sculpt quite a lot. I think this is a really sweet looking Wookiee. Pretty, just huge character. I think really well done. Cool armor on the sides. Definitely one of my favorite ones. Sovereign Protector. I'm going to put this one in A tier. I actually really like this quite a bit. The only thing I like the armor, the paint. I just don't like that the staffs break pretty easily on them. So that's kind of unfortunate. So I'll leave that one there. Next we have, this is one of my favorites. I'm going to put up IG-88 Droid Mercenary. So I believe that's the correct one. Yeah. I really like this one. Actually, I can't. That's too high. I'm going to do top of A tier. I'm always a big fan of the way IG-88 looks. I think this one's probably the best IG-88. I like how he has the weapon on the back. I think it's the pulse cannon and then the guns he's holding. Good pose. Maybe I'll just do S tier and just kind of cave. I really like it a lot. The 501st Clone Trooper, Stormtrooper, that's going to C tier. I just don't like the way these might be some of my least favorite looking Stormtroopers. Ironically, I think my favorite Stormtroopers are the Rebel Storm ones, the first ones. And then after that, I think it's kind of a little worse as time goes on. This one looks pretty good. Human Engineer C tier, it's fine. I might actually bump this one down. There's something about it I don't like. There's too many white lines. There's no like kind of, I think the Rebel Stormtroopers, they have kind of the more like black lines where you can kind of see like kind of the separation in the armor, whereas in this one you don't get any of that. It's just straight white. I think that's kind of a lazy paint job, and I'm just not a big fan of it, so I'm going to have to put this down in D tier. Next one, we got this other Dark Times Jedi, which is, man, I'm going to look bad for getting these three guys' names and getting them wrong. Oof. Oh, man, I don't remember what it is. I'm going to look it up. Give me 1 second. All right, so I look it up. It's Ferris Olin. This one looks fine. I think the pose is a little over-exaggerated. I'll do top of C tier. It's okay. I don't like it nearly as much as Jax Pavin. Next we have, let's see here. Let's see, Kier Kanos. I actually think this thing looks amazing. I don't know how they did it, but I actually think the detail on this character's mini is really awesome and top notch for if you just kind of look at the texture, all the different separation lines and the armor. The cape looks pretty cool. I think they did a fantastic job on this guy's armor alone. Like when I saw it, I was like, dang, this is a really good looking one for one of the later characters for sure. Next one, Maximilian Veers. This one's kind of C tier to me. It's just kind of, I like the classic Veers look more, and I know this is when you think he's younger, but it's fine. It's an Imperial officer look. It's fine. It's whatever. Let's see here. Next we have the Old Republic. I think it's the Jedi Watchman, I believe. I believe that's the one it is. Cool looking Jedi, definitely B tier, I'll throw it in there. Gungan Bounty Hunter. This thing looks actually kind of crazy. Where do I put it? It's kind of cool looking. Maybe I'll do top of B tier. I think it looks kind of interesting. It's just kind of, there's not too many Gungans. I think I do like the way the Gungans look in the episode 1 models more from the earlier sets, but this one's pretty fine. It's interesting. It's an interesting concept, so I'll put it top of B tier. Next we have the Rhodium Brute. It looks okay. I'll do top of C tier. Not my favorite looking. It's a nice little good grunt in the game, of course. It's a great little grunt, but not my favorite looking model in particular. Imperial Engineer, I'm going to do low B tier. I think it looks cool. Definitely looks like the helmet's great for what you'd see on the Death Star. Kind of a so-so pose, but it's fine. Definitely a solid character. Kind of an interesting looking. I've always thought it was a very interesting looking character from Star Wars. And then next we have, and this is, let's see, this one is, it's the Terriani Scout. This thing looks pretty sweet. I'm actually going to have to throw this one up here. Let's do top of A tier. Yeah, this thing looks awesome. I don't know if it's quite S tier for me, but the way the cape's going, the huge gun, the really good pose, just kind of dashing forward into kind of battle type of thing. This might be bordering on S tier. This thing looks pretty sweet for just being like a non-unique character. I actually quite dig this pose a lot, so I might bump it up to S tier. There actually is a few sculpts that I really like in this that I'm starting to discover, so this is kind of fun. Let's see, Imperial, I think it's the Imperial Inquisitor. Inquisitor, I'm gonna stick Inquisitor. I think it's fine. I'm gonna do top of C tier. It's just kind of, it looks okay. It has reminiscent of those Dark Horse comics. Let's see, Coda's Militia in both cases I think are C tier. I'm just gonna stick them down here in C tier. I don't particularly love the way that they look. They look interesting. I guess I'm just not as crazy about the design, but they're okay. Next we have the Tsur. I'm actually going to throw this in A tier. I think it's such an interesting concept because it's like this giant kind of brute looking character, all blue, with a kind of trident looking weapon. Pretty cool looking. I don't know if it's really deserving of A tier, but I've always thought they just kind of pop and stick out, which is kind of interesting. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. I do really like that a lot. Next, I think this is Ferris Olin, I believe. Let's see, Jax, Ferris. No, the last guy was Ferris Olin. That means this one must be Das Jenner. So this one might be one of my favorite. I'm gonna do this one top of B tier. I think it looks pretty good overall. Actually, that might be even low A tier. It looks pretty good. I actually really do like the way a lot of these minis. For some reason, I was expecting to not like this one or the next set quite as much, but I kind of like it. I think it looks pretty good. Next, we have the Elite Trandoshan Mercenary. This is, I think this is actually a pretty sweet one. I'm gonna put these guys also in A tier. I really like the pose. I think they're just a really good-looking Trandoshan overall, and in terms of like the actual mini, they're a lot of fun too, like their actual powers in the game and stuff. So I think I'll do maybe top of B tier. It's a little bit too high to do A tier, so I'll do top of B tier. Looks pretty good. Next, Jedi Master Crook. This one's gonna be A tier for me. It looks pretty like just a savage looking Jedi. Got a really great pose. I think definitely kind of captures the essence of like the powers and the stats on the card and stuff. Looks great. I might even do top of A tier. Last we got, not last but not least, but we have these last 7 now. Let's see here. Bosk, Bounty Hunter, and actually this is Bosk Trandoshan Hunter. I really quite like this Bosk. I don't know if I like this Bosk as much as the other one. I don't remember where I set that one, but I'm going to put this Bosk also in A tier. I think it looks pretty good. It's a bit more of like a larger mini, I think, compared to the other ones, a little bit smaller ones. So next we got the 501st Legion Clone Trooper. This is going to be top of C tier. Actually, let's do bottom B tier. I kind of like these clones. They look pretty decent. Good paint jobs. Definitely kind of look like the blue painted clone troopers from Revenge of the Sith. So these are pretty sweet. And then next is Zuckuss. Pretty similar to the other Zuckuss. Not too much difference there. I think it's solid. Looks like Zuckuss. Pretty done well. I'll do top of B tier. Next with the Elite Sith Assassin. These guys are interesting. I always thought that these guys, they look like the villains from Legend of Korra, if you guys have seen that TV show, where they have those like very specific masks that they wear in season 1, like the non-benders who have like the electric hands. Like their face, their mask looks exactly like those characters. So just kind of funny little, I don't know, comparison that pops out to me. I think like fine. I'll just put them in B tier. They look kind of cool. You know, not great, not bad, just kind of, they're solid. Next, the Jedi Hunter droid. These guys are A tier for me. They look awesome. Like, great job on the limbs. I don't know, that might even be S tier. Oh, those look really good. Yeah, I'll do S tier. I just think the geometry of the kind of the limbs, the color, the double lightsabers, these look pretty sweet. So I need to get some more. I think I only have like one of them, but really, really cool. And then, let's see here, we've got these 2 left. Let's do the 501st Clone Trooper Commander. I'm going to do this high B tier. I think he does look pretty good. It's a little janky. I mean, I feel like the detail's not quite as sharp on this guy as it is on the 501st Legion Clone Troopers. But I really do like, you know, kind of the waist cape, the other coloring, the kind of the get-up that commanders have, kind of the like the extra shoulder armor and so forth. It's pretty cool. The dual pistols. There's a few things kind of hold it back for me. I think it could be the helmet could have been done a little bit better, maybe a little bit different pose, but still very solid overall. And then let's see here. Last but not least, we have our good old friend, Shared Het. So Shared Het, what do I think? I think he is, I don't know. I know it's kind of hard to get it, but I feel like the detail on his face is kind of a mess. And I mean, there is a lot of tricky detail on his face anyways. I'll just do in B tier. I think it looks fine. But I've just never liked the way his face turns out in actual Mini itself. It's a little rough. But that's my opinion. But otherwise, I think it's a pretty good looking character. So, all right. Well, this is my tier list for Dark Times. I think it looks fine. I'm going to leave everything the way it is. Please let me know what you think about it. What are your favorite looking characters from this particular set? And like I always say, please like, subscribe, and comment down below on what you think about the Dark Times characters and how they look.